Hey there, welcome into this reading. So, kind of strange. I was just going about my day, packing up some stuff for my market, and I felt really called out of nowhere to print out or look up and print out a love reading of some sort. And so I did search for love reading, but came across this compatibility relationship spread. Okay, so here I am, hopped on with my rose quartz in hand, some lovely, calming, love-minded Reiki music in the background, and I have some beautiful lavanaya, meaning graceful, rose-scented incense going as well. So without further ado, let's go ahead and jump into your message. In this message, we're going to be looking at your desires, the other person, their desires, the overall theme of your relationship, maybe some lessons that you're going to learn in this relationship, right? Some challenges, then we'll look at your emotional compatibility, your physical compatibility, and finally your mental compatibility, okay? As always, take only the parts of this message that resonate with you and leave the rest for whoever else might come across it, okay? Let's go ahead and clear your space. Or should I say clear the space, right? So what's interesting is before I actually understood that I was meant to do a love reading, 1, 2, 3 on the clock, 12:30, I did find myself staring at these pillows that I have. Actually, I'll just bring them on screen for you to see. They're cards, and I bought them a long time ago. I just thought they were clever, and it's the King of Hearts and the Queen of Hearts. And they were very present this morning, it feels like. I was called to just like ponder on that. Okay, so you might be coming into some sort of union soon if you're single, if you find yourself not in a relationship, but the focus of this message is actually having to do with some sort of existing relationship, okay? I'm going to use a variety of cards to tap into these energies. So let's get into it. Let's start with the Gilded Tarot. Okay. Interesting, I just cut the deck and saw the Two of Cups, which is literally about love. Two lovers coming together. So you might have been manifesting love, or you might have been manifesting in this relationship a deeper connection or clarity. Okay. Wow. Okay, so I was going to start with the Gilded Tarot, but I'm feeling very strongly to actually start with the, what is this called? Prism Oracle instead. Okay, so what I'm being called to do is we'll take a look at the first 3 cards, which are your desires, their desires, and the overall theme of the relationship. We'll take a look at those with the Oracle deck, and then we'll see where we want to go from there. So if whoever comes across this message, please, Spirit Guides, with truth and clarity. What are the desires? Your desires, their desires. And the overall theme for this relationship, for whoever might come across this message. I'm not going to put them in the same places because it's kind of confusing. Yeah, maybe I will actually. Your desires, their desires, and the theme. It's over here for now. Okay. challenges in this relationship, please? We have the Queen of Wands. Emotional compatibility. Emotional compatibility for this relationship, please. Oh. Oh. Okay. Where's 5? Emotional compatibility. There we have the King of Wands and the Knight of Wands. I'm sorry, why did I say Wands? King of Swords and the Knight of Swords. Okay, so we have, in terms of the energies out here, we have a fire sign and air signs. But I'm also noticing with these green cards that you might also be an earth sign, pentacles representing earth and growth. Physical compatibility in this relationship, please. Whoever is coming across this message. Whoa. Okay, so 5 of Cups came out, sort of sideways. But then this flipped over in my hand. Okay. Which is the 6 of Swords, and it's in position 6, which is interesting. And then finally, mental compatibility for this relationship, for whoever is watching this message, please. Mental compatibility in this relationship. Okay. We have the Hermit in reverse, and we have the Judgment in reverse. Okay, so just give me a moment to sort of feel these energies out. Let's just go one by one and see what the story is. So in the first position we have here, your desires in this relationship are for abundance. Now that's not to say you're a gold digger. That's not to say that you only are interested in pursuing this relationship because of somebody else's abundance. Abundance comes in many forms, and abundance is also often the, what's the word I'm looking for, foundation for stability. And so it seems like in this relationship, you are seeking stability. You are seeking abundance, whether that be monetary abundance. I'm not so sure, maybe. But what I'm really getting from this is abundance of happiness, abundance of joy, abundance of moments and memories meant to be shared with another person. Okay, so that's definitely a beautiful desire to go into a relationship for. Their desire is growth in reverse. So what I get from this is actually not a bad thing. I don't get that they are stagnating or that they're settling. What I get is they want to put down roots and they want stability. And in the past, they might not have had that. And so what I'm reading from this is they're coming in with some sort of previous energy, or I don't want to say unhealed parts, but there are some parts of this person who you're seeking a relationship with or you're in a relationship with who is seeking, like you, stability, but in a different way. So it feels like they want somebody who they can use to reflect with. They can use to as a sounding board. They can be honest with their emotions, honest with their feelings, without the fear of repercussion. It's almost like this person wants to be able to have enough stability and trust in this relationship to be able to learn who they are through the experiences that you share. And so I don't take this as growth in reverse. I actually take it as for what it is. I take it as growth. But because it came in reverse, it's almost like this growth is reflecting inwards to them. They know that there are lessons to be learned through relationships, and they know that this relationship can help them develop in ways internally other relationships that might have been more superficial wouldn't have allowed them to do. Okay? So there's definitely a beautiful sort of give and take here. Both of you are Your desires for this relationship are rooted in stability, are rooted in a foundation of trust and truth. So that's really beautiful. Okay. The overall theme for this relationship is sadness in reverse and flow in reverse. And what I get from this is the opposite of sadness is happiness, right? But what I get from this is both of you or one of you might have been coming from or coming to this relationship from one that damaged you in some way, or that caused you trauma or caused you pain. And to be able to find another person on this planet who is able to, I don't want to say distract you, but uplift you so much so that you don't even remember or you don't have to fear what happened in the past is a beautiful thing. So it feels like this union or this relationship that you're in or coming to be in is healing for both you and the other person. Healing this sadness, okay? And what I get from flow in reverse is not a bad thing either. I don't get stagnation, okay? What I get from this is whatever relationship you might have been coming out of, or there might have been trauma or pain around, this sadness around, there's an opportunity to sort of be more intentional. Those other relationships may have been superficial. They may have been the top current of the ocean, the top current of a river. But rivers run deep, oceans run deep, and the emotions that I'm feeling here in this relationship run deep. And so in the past, either you or your person, your relationships may have been superficial, may have been about, looks, may have been about how it looks to other people. But what I feel from this is both of you are willing to go deep. Both of you are willing to pause and look at what you're both getting and learning from this relationship and how you can help each other to grow. So that's really beautiful. There's definitely a healing aspect here, but there's definitely also a growth and uplifting aspect here. Wonderful. Okay. In terms of the challenges in this relationship, there might be a little bit of hard-headedness. There might be a little bit of stubbornness. If you are the feminine energy in this relationship, you might still be holding on to some protective or defense mechanisms that you had to rely heavily on to protect yourself and protect your energy in previous relationships. And so the challenge here is to, in your feminine energy, sit in that. Really sit in it and surrender the more masculine aspects which are forcing you or encouraging you to be in control of everything. Okay? What I'm getting from this is a certain level of confidence for who you are and a certain passion or fire to quickly sort of come to the defenses of whatever you believe to be true or whatever you believe about yourself. And in relationships, you often learn about yourself through the other person as they reflect your energy back to you. And what I'm learning or what I'm understanding from this is one of your challenges might be being able to see or receive that feedback through your ego, if that makes any sense. And ego is not always a bad thing. But there's this little black cat here. It feels like your shadow self. It feels like you still have some sort of defenses up. And this is for the feminine energy in the relationship. If you're the one watching this, know that this person isn't here to hurt you in any way. They're not here to prove you right or wrong in any way. They quite literally want to learn with you, learn about you, and learn about themselves through this relationship. Okay? There's a lot of happiness and joy and passion here, but there could also be some stubbornness, right? Some closed-mindedness. So just be aware of that. And I'm not going to say it's only the feminine energy. but I will say that this Queen of Wands is sitting in her strength and in her masculine aspects. At least that's how I'm reading this card today. Okay. For emotional compatibility, we have a King of Swords in the upright, so that might be the masculine energy in this relationship. Why aren't these cards focusing? Thank you. And we also have a Page of Wands. I keep saying Wands, of Swords. Both of these cards are in the upright, and that's a good thing, okay? When we're talking about emotional compatibility and the suit of swords, which has to do with thoughts and words, speaking, air, action, right? It's a good thing that this card is in the upright, because if it was in the reverse, that would indicate to me a narcissist, somebody who would say and do anything to gaslight and get their way. But what I understand from this is your masculine energy very much is aware of his feelings, very much is aware of his thoughts, and is able to express his thoughts with truth and clarity, with integrity, with what he's saying. And what I understand from the Page of Swords coming out, on top of it, pages are messengers. Pages represent a page. What the heck? That's the knight. Knights are messengers. Knights represent action and movement. What I understand from this is, in your relationship, you do a lot of communicating back and forth, whether this is a new relationship or one that you've been in for many, many years. You do a lot of communicating back and forth, and what I'm getting is text messaging or speaking on the phone, maybe FaceTiming even maybe FaceTiming. And it feels like that is integral to your emotional compatibility. It's almost like you over communicate, but it's a good thing, because it gives you, well, there you go, it gives you little glimpses and little insights and shines lights on how each of you is thinking without having to outright say exactly what you're thinking. And the way that you're both communicating is so clear and so honest and so true between each other, that again, it gives those little insights, so that what's being felt by the other person might not even need to be said explicitly. It is felt and it is understood because of what is said and the words that are chosen. So this is a beautiful compatibility, because it feels like you're both on the same page and you're both willing to communicate at the level that's required to make this relationship a success. One of you or both of you might be air signs. Okay? Libra, Gemini, Aquarius, air signs. Physical compatibility, we have 6. For physical compatibility, we had the 5 of Cups coming out sideways, and the 6 of Swords, focus, in the upright. Unfortunately, what I get from this is somebody is coming to this relationship with some baggage regarding physical intimacy and physical compatibility. I don't want to read too far into this, but I really feel like there's some sort of there was some sort of sad happening in the past for one of you that has impacted your ability to be intimate, has impacted your ability to trust intimate partners. And this physical compatibility is not just about sex, okay? Physical compatibility can be expressed or show up in many different ways, like you walking down the street together with, you walking down the street with your significant other, and they want to hold your hand, but you're not really into that sort of expression of affection, or you're not really into, being touched in that way. Or maybe you're the type of person who is very conscious of your physical space, and you don't love to be leaned on. You don't love to be randomly cuddled while you're sitting on the sofa, right? There's certain boundaries that we have to respect for other people, especially when we're in an intimate relationship. And if this is a newer relationship, then this is something that you might not be aware of, or the other person in your relationship might not be aware of yet. And so it sort of has to come to the surface. But what gives me hope and is a positive point in this is this didn't come out in reverse. It didn't come out in the upright, it came sideways. But it's a 5. And the next card that came out with it is a 6. The next card, or the card that sort of crossed it and covered it, is a 6. It's the 6 of Swords, which indicates moving to calmer waters. Okay, and I just noticed this red sort of tie on one of those sword handles. And what I get is that's actually the problem. Whoever this person is in a relationship who's hesitant to fully commit to this intimacy, or who has perhaps been a victim of abuse or had some sort of trauma in the past around physical intimacy, it feels like that red tie is only tied on to one sword, and it's not even tied on tightly. And what I get from this message and these two cards coming together is you will progress to a point where you can trust this person without even thinking about it. You are so comfortable with this person and you know their character that you can trust them to help you work through whatever that trauma or those hesitations might be. You're sailing into these calmer waters because you have a partner who is willing to wait with you, who is willing to wade through any rough or choppy waters with you, and who's willing to go on that journey with you in a supportive way. Okay, and I even see a child here. So if you're in this relationship already and you're thinking about having children, that might be a possibility in the future. But it feels the feeling that I'm getting from this is there's enough trust there that you could see yourself having and expanding your family with this person. There's no need for any more of this sadness. There's no need to believe that whatever hurt you in the past would happen again. There are 3 cups spilled in this photo, but there are 2 cups, you and that other person, still full. And all this person has to do is turn around and look at them, to appreciate them. And with this 6 coming over the 5, I really do feel like all 3 of you, or both of you, if it's just you and the other person, are turning your backs on those 3 spilled cups and moving towards the 2 so that you can cheers, so that you can chin-chin, so that you can celebrate. And not even celebrate, but you can come together without any extra baggage. You can come together and move beyond in trust whatever hurt or damaged you in the past. Okay, so that's a little bit of a rough energy because it's painful to have to work through those types of physical intimacy issues if you had bad experiences in the past. But it really feels like this person, the other person here in this relationship, is here to support you through it and has no judgment for you in any form and will go at your speed and will let you lead the way, which is exactly what you would want in that sort of instance. So really beautiful energy for whoever this is. And oops, woo! Oh God, that was probably very loud. Oh gosh. So I have a microphone attached to my phone and it just fell off the tripod. So apologies for how loud that probably was. But what I was saying is it feels like a really beautiful sort of progression and what you would want in terms of the energies and compatibility between you and another person in this specific scenario, okay, or this specific relationship. That's what I was trying to do, is show more of the cards and show this spread. Okay, and finally, to sort of close this message out, we take a look at the mental compatibility. So here we have the Hermit in reverse. This is often a sign of Virgo. And the Judgment in reverse. Is this the Judgment? Yeah. Archangel Gabriel in the background. Is this the Judgment or is this the Lovers? Hold on 1 second. Most cards have the thing at the bottom that says, but I'm not entirely sure. Okay, this is 2. I believe that's the Judgment. No, it's not. That's the Lovers in reverse. Okay. That's important, though. Okay. So this is the Lovers in reverse and the Hermit in reverse. And so what I get from this is it's taken a lot of going within, overcoming mental obstacles, reflecting upon the past in order to see the truth and to bring light to the truth and bring light to what it feels like is emotional issues or mental issues, ways of thinking, ways of seeing. And it's not just one person in this relationship who's had to do that sort of mental work, that mental processing. But what's interesting here is it feels like, and this might be why you're even clicking onto this reading, it feels like there's still work to be done on the mental side of things. It feels like it's not just you who needs to continue to do introspection and reflect on how the dynamics of this relationship are impacting your life and impacting the other person in this relationship. It feels like both of you have that work to do. And it feels like maybe both of you have resisted the truth here. And so I'm not gonna, the overall energies here are really beautiful, so I'm not gonna sit here and say either of you need to do more introspection in order for this relationship to work out. I'm gonna say that both of you, I believe, have come to this relationship to do more of that introspection, but together. And that's why I feel like the Lovers is in reverse, because the Hermit is quite literally the opposite of, not literally the opposite, but is the opposite of the Lovers. The Hermit goes up to the mountains alone with its lantern and its staff to do that introspection, to find the truth. But with it coming in reverse and coming in reverse with the Lovers, it feels like that journey needs to now be taken together. It feels like both of you have to almost be super explicit and use your emotional capabilities, your ability to express your emotions through your words and through your thoughts, to actually find the truth together, to uncover and reveal mental blocks, ways of thinking that are preventing you from trusting each other truly, from not holding back. Okay, so this is probably the only place where I've felt hesitancy in this reading. And it's hard because it does feel like somebody at least is coming to this reading with some baggage from, or coming to this relationship with some baggage from their previous relationships. And what this is saying is, rather than try and work on that baggage, work on the ways that might have mentally, not want to say damaged, but scarred you or had you thinking a certain way, rather than trying to do all that work alone, it's much, much more effective to share what you're thinking, to share why you're feeling a certain way, and work through those feelings and thoughts together. And that's so much easier said than done. Even if you've been in a relationship and it's so, you guys are so open, you talk about everything and you share all of your thoughts, there's still sometimes things that you keep to yourself. And it feels like those things are exactly the things, those deep thoughts, those deep fears and worries that maybe one day they'll find somebody who they think is more beautiful, or they have a lot of friends at work, maybe that one day we're not going to end up together and he's going to end up with that friend he always talks about at work. It's those sort of worries and thoughts that are useless, but they need to sort of be expressed so they can be released. And that's what's being encouraged here, is one or both of you should sort of open the door and open the table up for these sort of conversations to help you both progress past it, to help this Lover's card come in the upright. And what I understand from this is, it is a divinely guided process. This relationship is divinely guided. Whether you think or you believe you're soulmates, or you think or you believe you're twin flames, there is a certain sort of transformation that will come of this relationship. And the whole relationship and the up-leveling and the transformation itself is divinely guided and is being watched over. Okay, so that's a really beautiful energy. Difficult because, well, it's difficult. But beautiful because that's the whole point of relationships. To be closer to somebody, to share love with another person, but really to learn about yourself and to learn about other people. Okay? Really beautiful. Those are all the places in the spread, but I don't feel like there's an ending or a period to this. It seems to me like you're very well matched, and it seems to me like you've both come into this relationship to do some healing and to learn about yourselves, which is beautiful. To find a stable relationship that you can invest your time into and know that that time and that effort will be reciprocated. Really, really beautiful energy. So just as we come upon 1 o'clock, if we could just get 1 or 2 affirmations, words of advice from the animals for this relationship. An energy to keep in mind. An energy to adopt. Perspective to adopt. Yeah, okay, that's the beautiful, beautiful way to end this reading. Sandpiper spirit, be playful. Be light. And what I'm getting from this is that sound effect that they would often use in cartoons of like a little mouse scampering across the floor, like dee-dee-dee-dee-ding. And if you've ever seen a sandpiper run to the edge of the water and then run back as the waves come, it's like dee-dee-dee-ding, like that little xylophone sound. It's got to be light like that. You've got to be light on your feet. Even when oh shoot, this mic keeps wanting to get knocked over. Even when you're using your keen abilities to express your thoughts, and you're allowing those inner concerns, those inner truths to come up and be discussed. There needs to be a sort of playful element to it. Almost like somebody, and I'm getting the male figure if there's a male in this relationship. Somebody is always going to be the one that breaks the ice and breaks the tension through humor, through lightness, through being playful. So you just got done having a really deep conversation about how you really don't like when he does this because it makes you feel this way, and blah, 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 and it was really tense. And then you both sort of understand where you're both coming from, but then he does something silly and fun to break the tension, to lighten the mood, and you're right back to where you started in terms of being in the flow and being in love with this person. There was no damage done. There were no bruises done to allow whatever that conflict is to come to the surface and be released. Because you see each other and you speak to each other with such integrity and with such truth that you can also still be playful and know that it'll be received in love. It'll be received in the highest vibrations. Okay? And I'm noticing that 5 + 1 is a 6. And 6 is the number of stability. Okay? Happy home. So be playful. Keep it light. And remember that everything in this world ebbs and flows and comes in waves. So take the good with the bad and take the bad with the good and try to see the humor and the beauty in everything. Okay? I'm sorry for dropping the mic so many times. If you've made it to the end of this message, thank you so much for watching. If you found this helpful at all, insightful at all, if this is describing your situation, please consider giving it a like. You can comment below. If you're watching this on YouTube, please consider sharing or subscribing. I don't currently offer love readings, but if you'd like a personal reading, please reach out to me and we'll see what we can do. Okay? Thanks so much. Have a wonderful rest of your day, wonderful rest of your week.